Okay, now we want to apply all the CSS codes on the bed 2 in here. Again, if we look at the representation, you see that this is the box that we want to create, which has the width of 4 boxes. So its width should be 4 times the width of each houses or boxes. If we look at the CS, so you see it is in the class of bed2. So in here we say bed2. First of all, we say display block, and then we go for the float left, and after that we want to specify the width. If we look at the width of the houses in here, all of them has a width of 7.2%. So if we open our calculator in here, we could see that 4 times 7.2 would be equal to 28.8, and we have some also for the borders. So what we are going to do is that in bed 2 we say width should be equal to 28.8%, and the size of the height should be equal to other boxes, which I think is 13%. Yes, so we have 13% for the height. Also you would want to give it a background color in here to see it, maybe brown for now, to see what would happen, and give it some border equal to 0.4 pixel maybe, and a solid border with the color of white. If you open our browser, refresh the first page and go for the classic roulette, we could see that this is the box that we have created. If we look, we see that it's not as big as the width of all houses. You could say that the border in here is 0.2 pixel, as we explained in the previous lectures. Each one of these borders is 0.1 if we look at the CSS. So we have a border at the right hand side of this box, which is 0.1 pixel, and also the left border of box number 4 would be 0.1. So 2.1 would be 0.2 pixel. So this border would be 0.2, this is 0.2, this is 0.2, which would be 0.6 pixels, and we have 0.1 in here, which would be 0.7, and with the same reasoning this would be 0.2, so we have 0.9 pixel. But this is not the problem. Most of the problems in the CSS that has been created for us in the Linux is because, as I explained, is because the Kali Linux is installed virtually on the VirtualBox, and I haven't installed some guest edition, or I don't know, something that would stretch the screen. So the screen that you see in here in the Linux is not the whole screen, but it is actually smaller than the whole screen. So we get some problems because of not a good ratio between the width and the height. Also, this scroll in here is because the same problem. As you remember, in the CSS for the page, mostly we say 100% width and height. When we say 100%, it means that we don't want any scroll in here, we want the whole page. So as I said, because the ratio between width and height in the virtually installed Linux is not right, so we may have these problems. But if we look at the same thing in the Windows, so in my Windows, we just open the browser. This is Windows. Let me just go to the main page and click on the classic roulette. You see now this is exact thing in here, but a little smaller that we explained, because we have assigned it a border of 0.4, but the border in here is almost 0.9. The reason that I don't want to make it bigger is because we want to add other boxes in here which would repay this smaller box. So in here, what I mean is that we want to go to our Linux and create other divisions like this. So you see, we have again, we look at the representation in here. You see we have second 12 and third 12, and you don't pay attention to this specific image. If you search all the internet, you would see tons of these images with the same format. All the classical roulettes has the same format, but the numbers in here may be different. So in here what we are going to do is that for this we want to say second 12, and then for this the third 12. Now if we open our browser and refresh, well, obviously we would have some problems in here, while in the Windows, if we refresh, we won't have these kind of problems. And now all the small things in here that we have some problem, now we don't have. The reason is that if we have 4 times 0.2 pixel, which would be equal to 0.8 pixel for these 4 borders, we have the exact 0.8 pixel for these two, because we have 0.4 for the right side of this box in here, and also 0.4 pixel for the left hand side border of this box, which would be equal to 0.8 pixel. Again, if you look at the CSS, you could see that we assigned a 0.4 pixel for these borders, while the border that we assigned to the boxes are 0.1, and we explain all the calculations. Now this is right. The only thing that we need to do is to change the background color. So in here, or just let me just remove the background color, because the background color is the dark green. So if we refresh, you see this is the background color. Again, if we refresh, this is the thing that we have.